Hello everyone, welcome back to Pokemon Yellow. My name is Dario, and wow, it's been a doozy of a time over here in Kanto. In the last episode, we made our way through Route 3. Well, it says we're on Route 4, but Route 3 is where we went to right there. Fought all the trainers. We didn't get all the Pokemon, but, I mean, we got plenty of time to catch them all, so I'm not too worried about it. But we did all that in effort to make it up here to Mount Moon, which we're at the Pokemon Center right outside it. And my voice might sound a little weird right now, and that's because I'm actually recording this commentary after recording the footage, the gameplay footage, but I'll get more into detail of that later. For now, let's talk to some people. We have this guy telling us about if we have too many items, we can store them in the PC. Storing Pokemon if we have 6. Team Rocket attacks Cerulean City. Team Rocket is always in the news. And then we got this guy over here who tells us he has a great deal for us. He'll let us have a swell Magikarp for just $500. What do you say? Now, everyone's gonna really fall for this. I mean, unless you watch the anime first and realize that $500 is not that good for a Magikarp. This is the earliest you can get one though. Although you could also just save the money, unlike what I just did and decide to buy it. I just figured, what the hell, you know? I've already made pretty poor money decisions so far. Why not keep the train going? And I couldn't really think of anything funny. Instead of just, you know, if I had a bigger audience, I would just say like, oh, be sure to name the next episode, gang, but nobody's watching me, so I just went with Mr. Magic, which not only does sound like a crappy daytime magician you hire for your kid's party, but it sounds like, actually I think it's from Magic Mike, if I recall, it's from the trailer of that, which, I don't know why I'm admitting that. I haven't seen the movie, it literally was just a trailer, but anyways, it's irrelevant. So we're going to head up to the PC and deposit all the Pokemon we had in our party that we just caught, and yeah. So, to go into detail about why I'm doing post-commentary here, when I was initially recording this episode, I recorded just like how I always do, like with my microphone. Oh, let me see what this lady says. Ouch, I tripped over a rocky Pokemon Geodude, which we encountered a couple episodes back with Brock's party, you know, the gym leader. But anyway, see, I'm even after the fact, I'm still stumbling over my words and trying to figure out what to do. Like, I don't know why I just pointed my finger at the screen here. Oh, now I remember, because actually, if you remember earlier, I was like moved over there, and it's funny because my finger's actually doing exactly what I'm describing. But when you're outside the Pokemon Center, you're like shifted over to the right. So it's kind of an interesting little detail I haven't heard anybody talk about. And then of course the fact that like if only Ash could just climb up like 2 feet of rock and save yourself the whole trip of having to go through this dungeon. But anyways. See, this is already a mess, but I'm not going to start over, so I'm sorry, you're just going to have to deal with it. But what happened is that as I was recording this episode, and actually the original commentary up to this point was okay, but it really torpedoed down once I started to go through the dungeon because I didn't have enough money to buy repels. I just kept hitting battle after battle after battle. And, I mean, if you think it's bad enough already how I ruined my train of thought, like, imagine how much worse it is when you have wild Pokemon battles coming up, and then kind of getting lost and all that stuff, which is a shame because I actually had I was actually talking about mostly good things, but, you know, a random battle would pop up, I'd stop talking, and then something else would come up, and then it was very messy. And combine that with the fact that I've had a lot of, you know, this isn't going to matter because, you know, when you're watching this in the future, like in the year 2030, you know, it's all going to be uploaded. But right now, like it's been, just to give you some context, I think the previous episode was uploaded like 3 months ago now. And that's just real life stuff. And I hate using that as an excuse. I know a bunch of people do. But yeah, so I haven't been able to really get to it, but I'm finally making headway. I'm not going to go into all the details of why I was busy, but suffice to say, it's kind of different than how things used to be as a kid, where you didn't have adult responsibilities, whether it's a job or school or other little things. You could just sit and play away at your Pokemon game, and or even if since doing playthroughs, gameplay videos online is all the rage nowadays, like just having more time for that as a middle schooler or even high schooler. And and to be fair, I guess I probably could have done this earlier, like record this commentary, but I'm in a very particularly special place recording right now. I don't know if the microphone's picking it up, but it's a little echoey. But I'm doing this commentary at my grandma's old house, and I kind of just wanted to commemorate the occasion, since and lining up the dates to where I could record this and also have time to do this. Heck, even earlier when I tried to record it, there was a dog barking outside. So anyways, I've ranted on about real life stuff enough. I hate actually doing that normally, but it's a special occasion, I guess, and you just gotta deal with it. I'm sorry. But anyways, not like there's much else going on the screen. Mankey leveled up, and we just got the TM12 water gun, and just picked up a potion too. And we're gonna be needing a lot of these items, just because of how crazy. I mean, for a first dungeon, Mount Moon is actually this would actually be the area where I stopped playing the game, and I would come back to it and realize, I have to go through this dungeon. I have to go through Mount Moon. I'm just going to start over and do the beginning over again. It was a different time back then. You couldn't go online or on your smartphone and just download Pokemon Go or play whatever the hottest game is, whether it's Roblox or Minecraft or whatever. You turn off the game and then it's just like, well, I guess I could go watch TV or go outside to play. But if it was nighttime or it was raining or that just wasn't possible, it's just like, oh, okay, I guess I'm just going to go back and play these other games, play games I've already played. So that definitely is the case here for my experience with not just Pokemon Yellow, but even Blue and the next games in the series, where I would I would just tend to replay the beginning over and over again, just because it was easier to get through, and then later on you have to make the commitment of leveling up these Pokemon or training, or that's the same thing, so I don't know why he said that. But it's just, but even as I am an adult now, Mount Moon, I wouldn't say it's poorly designed, but it definitely, and I think most people would agree with me, it definitely kind of breaks the game's pace. And as you can see just right there, I do run into wild Pokemon, but I just decide to cut them out, just to save you guys the quickness. Trust me, I'm doing you the favor here. I would have loved it as a kid if you could just skip battles instantly. But as I was saying, that actually ties into what I was saying about how it breaks the pace of the game, just because you go from roaming outside, exploring two new cities like Viridian City and Pewter City. I mean, sure, you have Viridian Forest, but even then that's still ooh, look at the trees, look at this new Pokemon. And I suppose you get that here, even this is the first time we're seeing a Magnemite, and I don't believe we'll be able to catch one anytime soon. But that's pretty much it. I mean, the cave itself is just all colored brown. I don't know why I started laughing when I said covered in brown. Maybe I'm not as much of an adult as I thought I was, if I'm just laughing at that simple statement. But it is. It's covered. It's the color of rocks. The floor, I believe it's a dark blue. Pikachu just learned Double Team, which is a pretty good move, actually. If you use it, it raises your evasiveness, and as a result, makes it harder to be hit. So you could actually cheese quite a few battles if you just use that. But anyways, but yeah, it's just really drab looking, and then every like 3 steps is like another battle, a wild battle, and then you still have these trainers to fight, which you could skip, but you're gonna regret it later. I have to find stronger Pokemon. And we found another potion, and I kind of regret actually, kind of rambling, because I ended up missing what the previous battles we fought, what they said afterward, but whatever. I'm pretty sure. I mean, to me, I was gonna say I'm pretty sure they're not that interesting, but it's probably more interesting than anything I'm saying. So we just picked up 2 items. The first one was a rare candy, and the second was an escape rope. A rare candy levels up your Pokemon by 1. Like, you give it to them, it uses it like a potion, and it levels up your Pokemon's level by 1. But the stat gain you get from it is like pretty neutral. And I'm gonna have to go into that a little bit later, of the way like how fighting Pokemon, whether it's wild Pokemon or trainers, they give you they increase your stats like an extra amount than if you would use a rare candy. So just to give like just the very vaguest example, like say you use a rare candy and it increases like 3 of your Pokemon stats by 1 each. So like your attack goes up by 1, your defense goes up by 1, and like your special goes up by 1. Versus if you do it up naturally by just in a Pokemon battle, you know, it's more likely like, okay, I'll get, you know, +2 in my attack, and then +1 defense, +1 special. If that makes sense. I mean, it's not too complex, but and I'm pretty sure I was mistaken somewhere along the way, but you can look it up. This game's like 20 years old. Like I just know how to. I just know type advantages here and there, and a few things about this game. I'm not a master by any means. You know, I also believe that was the first time we saw a Bellsprout, and it's a grass type Pokemon, which we swiftly took care of. As you can see, Mankey's kind of like being the all-star here, and this poor girl's apparently trapped in this cave. I hope she makes it out of here alive. But I mean, yeah, just look at the visuals. It's not even that appealing to look at. And then imagine, and once again, I'm also doing you the favor of just speeding up to rush back to the Pokemon Center or rush back out. And then you have all these, as we're about to go into, these different ladders that lead to different levels. And then, especially since say your Pokemon die, say your Pokemon faint, you have to walk back to the Pokemon Center, and then you come back and you're like, wait, which way did I take? Was it this one that I was about to explore, or did I go to this way? Because these different ladders lead to different floors, or different areas on these different floors. So, but it sounds complicated, especially if you're a kid nowadays. Heck, even if you're an adult and you played games like this, it probably still was complex. I mean, this is the reason why strategy guides existed. You know, you'd spend the $20-$30, however much it was, and you get basically like a map that shows you, okay, here's all the items, here's all the, you know, here's what Pokemon are found where. And I mean, it pretty much was very invaluable, and it just really just saved you the time of just roaming around endlessly trying to figure out what to do and where to go. I really don't. I mean, I know in the other episode I showed you guys I have a guide that I'm not following. I just have like on hand to like mainly just to look up. Okay, are there any more Pokemon in this area? Like just because I mean, no matter how much you play this game, I would be very impressed if someone could remember all the Pokemon in any given area, and especially since they vary by floor. So. This is Zubat. I might have talked over when we encountered one, but this is the Pokemon you're going to come across most in Mountain Moon. And they have this really annoying attack where they just use he just used Supersonic. which basically confuses you, and you have a chance to hit yourself and cause damage to yourself, and it's quite annoying. And I believe I'm able to get past the confusion right here. Oh no, I was way off. But I'm able to do a lot of damage to it with Pikachu because it's part flying, and as we learned, Electric type is really strong against flying. So this was our first encounter with the Team Rocket member, I believe. And darn it all, my associates won't stand for this. What are they gonna do? So, and once again, I do apologize for the rough quality of not only just the gameplay you're watching, but also just the, I guess, lack of preparation I seem to have for this episode. I know it doesn't seem like I know it doesn't seem like it, but I am kind of trying my best here. I edited the video together, like speeding up, cutting out the battles and speeding up the walks back to the Pokemon Center. But I didn't really watch it all just for the sake of, so that way, like, you know, because then I would like remember, like, oh, at this part I mentioned, like, you know, the way the cave looked. Oh, at this part I mentioned, you know, blah blah blah. I know myself well enough to know that I usually end up just talking about the same stuff anyway. So I'm kind of just slightly winging it, but also trusting myself that I'll end up, you know, mentioning the same things that I mentioned in the video anyway. Albeit it's a bit less smoother. So, as you can see, we just got TMO1, which I actually did call correctly in the original commentary, is Mega Punch. I knew that because I think that's just something I just inherently remembered as a kid. It's just like, oh, what's the first TM? And, you know, it's like a good little trivia question, like, what's the first TM? Mega Punch. So, and we got another fight with a Team Rocket member here. And I think, but one of the things I did mention that I wanted to talk about, one of the things I did originally mention before that I wanted to discuss, I thought it was interesting, was about how, you know, as I was describing how this cave like looks very drab and dreary and monotonous, if it's possible for something to look monotonous, but about how, you know, just trying to imagine, I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who likes to do this, but imagining like what Mount Moon, like it looks like, you know, you like say you leave the Pokemon Center, you enter the cave, and then like if you actually did this like yourself, like what would it look like going to a cave? Because in this particular instance, it's very well lit, so it makes you kind of like just imagining a cave that's well lit. Like, how is it doing that? And then just now, I actually considered the possibility of like, well, what if there's an opening at the top? Or what if it's not like a cave? Like, what if it's just like, what if this is like, I mean, it is a mountain, so what if we're actually like navigating a mountain, like right now? Like there is no, it's not a cave, it's actually just like, you know, you enter through the entrance and then like it leads to like an open rocky area that you're kind of like hiking around, you know? Like, I never really considered like that, and to be fair, the graphics don't really give a lot to the, doesn't really lend a lot to the imagination. But originally, I would always imagine this area as like you step into it and it's just like a giant like cavern with like stalactites, stalagmites at the top, and like very echoey. But then of course brings the question of like, well, how is it lit? Because slight spoilers, there are areas later in the game that you do need to light up with a particular ability. So because this area doesn't require it, maybe it actually like is open at the top. Maybe there is no like, it's not a cavern. It's just like, you know, a open spaced area. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm kind of glad I mentioned that again, so that way it gave me the idea of like, oh, who says it's a cave? It could just be wide open. I'm trying to think if in the anime they do show Mount Moon, and I think there is like a tunnel area to it, but when Ash and Brock and, oh no, it's just Ash and Brock actually. They don't meet Misty yet. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they spent a decent portion of it outside, so I don't know. At this point, I wasn't even looking at the screen, I'm sorry. So we just found a Moonstone, and that allows certain Pokemon to evolve, which will be either a Clefairy or Jigglypuff, which I think we only found a Clefairy so far, so I'm not going to use it yet, obviously. And then we come across this guy who is a hiker. I was gonna like, I don't know why initially my thought went to fireman. So, but yeah. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Okay, no, I'm just. What if I did that? What if it's just like, oh, thank you guys for watching, and it was just dead silence, just the rest of the episode. Wishful thinking. I was actually worried while putting this all together because it actually extended to quite a lengthy amount of time, and I think the original time with all the battles and like pretty much no cuts went up to about 30 minutes, 31, 32 minutes, and obviously I wasn't gonna let that fly, so I skip ahead. I decided to, what did he say? Kids like you annoy me? I think that's what he said or something. So I was actually able to bring it down to like a decent 25 minutes, which, you know, even then I don't feel like my commentary is that great. And then, okay, so real quick, take a look to the right side of your screen. You see how or the top now, and upon looking at it, it looks like a different area. Like, it looks like an area that I missed, and there's going to be a part coming up where I actually make a cut, and I'm not going to tell you where it is, but I just wonder if you can catch it. And I'm revealing my tricks of the trade here just because I'm kind of running out of things to talk about. But there's going to be a part like within the next 3 minutes, 2 minutes actually, where I do a cut because when I originally shot this, it kept bugging me that I was just like, crap, did I go to that area? So I actually walk all the way back, look at the different areas I went through, and then find out it was one I went to. And so then I had to walk all the way back to where I was because I didn't have the foresight to just save and then just like warp back essentially. And so, but when we get back to it after this battle is over, it looks very different. It doesn't look like an area we went to before. So I feel like I can be forgiven in thinking that. But despite everything, I mean, I guess I didn't have to show every single trainer battle, but I mean, that's what I would have done normally anyway, I guess. I'm gonna have to figure out something later in the series, because I can't show every single battle. Pokemon lived here long before people came. You know, for a Rocket member, that guy sounds pretty intellectual. So see, this is where I'm like looking, thinking like, where is that area? I don't remember it. But it's actually the area that had, I think it was the area with Mega Punch. Yeah, actually it was the area with TM01. So, anyways, we're about to wrap things up coming up here. And I just want to say, in the next part, it's going to be back to normal. I think my original commentary, it was fine for that, for all that. So, yeah, thank you guys. I realized that this was kind of a rough episode to get through. But thank you for bearing with me. I hope it was at least like mildly entertaining. And yeah, I really appreciate it. And in the next part, where we're about to end up at, as soon as I leave this, see, I just left these last two like random battles in just to see how annoying it is. But yeah, in the next part, we're gonna fight this trainer and see what are those objects in front of us. So thank you guys for watching once again, and take care.